Hi there and a howdy lally ho to everyone. Here today I'm going to be talking about Dancer and a few tips to help new dancers out there. Right. Dancer starts at, in Limbs of Laminsa at level 60. You'll be given a copper with left side pieces, excluding belt, and a weapon. Now you want to pick, if you're going to go into any content, you want to pick up any level 60 accessories or other equipment, and a belt and any other equipment from Idleshire or from Crafted, from the market board. Now the initial hotbar that gets set up, I highly suggest rearranging to suit your personal preference because it's kind of all over the place when they give it to you. So feel free to rearrange that as much as you need to. Dancer has is mostly about buffering your party while having some decent DPS. It's the lowest personal DPS of all the DPS, but you do make up for it with all the buffs you're going to be giving to your party members. If you are all about the having as high a personal DPS as possible, Dancer is not going to be for you, because it will always should be the lowest lowest personal DPS out of all of them. Now, Dancer's combos are single target or AoE. Right, single target you have Cascade into Fountain with 1, 2. Right. Now, both of these skills have a 50% chance to upgrade into their upgraded form. As you can see, I have Reverse Cascade, which procs when I use Cascade. Now, you use that, and then that has a 50% chance to proc a Feather, which is used for Fan Dance 1, 2, for Fan Dance 1 and 2. Fan Dance 1 is for single target, and you must target an enemy for it. Fan Dance 2 is AoE that goes around you. Now both of these have a 50% chance to proc Fan Dance 3. Now this is like Fan Dance 1, where you must target an enemy before you can use it. But Fan Dance 3 is also AoE and is higher potency than Fan Dance 1 and 2. Now that is the single targets. As you can see, I just got a Flourishing Fountain proc. And that again can give you a Feather. Now AoE rotation is Windmill and Blade Shower. Now these are of course weaker than your single target, so do not do these on a single target, only do it on two or more mobs. Now these are AoE around you, so if you want to get a feel for these, I suggest going into lower areas so that you can judge the AoE range that you need to be so that you can do them. Now these also have 50% chance to upgrade into better skills. As you can see, I have Blood Shower and Rising Windmill. Now these also have a 50% chance to proc Feathers. They are also AoE based around you as well. So for single target, you must target the enemy for your skills, so that is Cascade, Fountain, Rising Cascade, Fountain Fall, Fan Dance 1 and Fan Dance 3. For AoE, you have Windmill, Blade Shower, Blood Shower, Rising Windmill and Fan Dance 2 that are going to be around you. Now, at level 15, you get Standard Step, and at level 70, you get Technical Step. Standard Step is your basic dance. This will give you a 5% damage increase, but it also has an AoE based around you for 1000 potency. Now, I really do recommend for the dancers to get a feel for their distance in low content, where you're like in around Limsa, Uldar and Gridania, where it won't matter what's hitting you, so you can get a feel for their AoE distance, because they're quite large. If you do them within fakes, you might pick up more than you intended and you may die as a result. So getting used to the distance of those dancers will help you in higher level content, sorry. Alright. Now, standard step gives you the 5% damage buff for you and your partner, and at level 76 it will give you the buff E-Spirit, which allows you to generate your third resource, which is the number underneath the fan box. Now, the 100 will, once you get that number to 50, you can use Saber Dance, which is that move there. And you must have 50 in your gauge to use that. Now that's a 600 potency single target, and then 300 potency on everything else around it. And but it requires 50 E-Spirit. Now, so far I have found the best partner for E-Spirit has been a Black Mage. Now, whatever's going on, it's an RNG proc for generating E-Spirit, and but so far I have found Black Mage seems to give me as a dancer the E-Spirit the most. Right, technical is your 4-step dance. This gives an AoE buff around you of 15 yams to you and your party members. It's 5% damage up, but it also has an AoE around it for 1500 potency if you do all 4 steps correctly. Now, it has the same distance as standard steps, so I suggest going into lower level areas and trying to get a feel for the distance, so you know how far you need to be, so you can only pick up like 1 or 2 mobs, so you don't get overwhelmed at higher level areas. Oran is your dash. As you level up, it will gain more charges, and it will just help you dash around across the arena if you need to do mechanics or something that forces you away, like too far away from the boss. You can dash quickly back here, closer to the boss, so you're in range. Flourish is your gives you 5 procs that are all on a 20-second timer. This is fan dance free, and your upgraded single target combo and your AoE combos. So when you use them, for Flourish, you want to be using your single target spots before you use the Flood Shower, before you use your AoE proc. But fan dance free, you weave in between your GCD. Now, all of the fan dances, they are off global cooldowns, and they have a recast of 1 second. Sorry, tickle. I have found that fan dance free has a small delay in it registering that it's available. So generally, when you're going to be double weaving between your GCD, you should do fan dance 3 and then fan dance 1 or fan dance 2. Do not, if you try and do it the other way around, you may have a bit delay and you may clip your GCD. You want to try and avoid that as much as you can. Now, to select a partner, you would need to have someone else in your party and then give them closed position. Now, this can also be gone onto NPCs in solo instances. It can also go on your chocobo, if you got your chocobo out and so forth. So feel free to do that if you so want. But at the moment, I will stress again that I seem to find the best partner is a black mage. Now, Devilment increases your crit and direct hit by 20%. This goes on you and your partner, so always have your partner, because you want to be continuously buffering them as much as possible. If you need to switch partners mid-fight, you only want to do that if your partner is dying multiple times, so they have double weakness, or if they're still on the floor dead for more than 10 seconds. Because at that point, they're not generating you resources and you can't buff them, so it's better to just buff another party member. Second wind is just a quick heal. Curing Waltz is a very small range around you and your partner for a small heal. This is just to help out your healers. So it is really tiny how far that is, and it's generally best only useful when you're stacking for mechanics. Arm's length is basically knockback prevention if you need to use that. Peloton is just makes you move faster outside of combat. Shield Samba is 10% mitigation on everyone in your party around within a set distance. It cannot stack with Bars Troubadour or Machinist Tactician. So if you see either of those two buffs on, do not use Shield Samba, because it will be a waste, because you're going to just overwrite their skills. Improvisation is an E-Spirit gain, but it can only be used in combat, and it's you want as many people in your party around you when you're using it, because the more people around you actually use it, the more E-Spirit you gain. And yes, it does look hokey as anything when you're using it, because you're like swelling it. But yeah, you only use it during downtime when nothing is targetable, because you cannot move while you're using it, improvisation, and you can't do any other action either. Right. Leg Graze is a roll action skill which gives heavy onto the target. Foot Graze gives bind, so if you want to run away, that will be a useful way to do it. Just make sure you're not targeting, because your auto attacks will still hit from range. Head Graze is your interrupt. Now, Head Graze, if an enemy has a skill that can be interrupted, which will be when they're casting, if the bar is flashing, that means it can be interrupted. The first real instance that you will probably see this is at a level 73 dungeon in Dom Meg. The little Fwa enemies, which are like the little toad frogs, when they first get aggro, they start charging an ability which can be interrupted. I suggest doing that for your tank, because that means they can just get aggro faster rather than having to worry about the Fwa buffering up one of the mobs for more damage. With Dancer, you will have space on your hotbar, just empty slots. Do not worry about that. It's just the way the job has been designed. So freely put on a potion if you're going to be using potions on the hotbar, as well as limit break, because you may want to see your limit break free, or you might have to use limit break at some point. Right, have standard for your opener. Before countdowns and everything, just have your E-Spirit and the standard finish buff on you and your partner just straight away. Just get that going, and then during the countdown, you want to be for your standard opener. You just want to do your 2 steps of standard step, but don't use standard finish. Pop a potion at 2 seconds left on the countdown. And then as you go in, do standard finish, pop flourish, and then technical step. Do the technical step. And then after that, immediately devilment. From there, you want to do your single target procs before you do your AoE procs. Use your dancers on cooldown, and if you get devilment, if you get saber dance, sorry. Use that as that's your highest GCD, but try not to lose any of the flourish procs if you can, because they will generate feathers, which could be a potential DPS gain over saber dance. So try not to drop any procs if you get them, but do also try not to let saber dance get to 100 on the E spirit, because once you get to 100, that's it, it's capped and it does not change from there. So you want to try and not be capped on E spirit at any point. And well, that's basically been Dancer. I hope these little tips have helped you. Try not to feel too overwhelmed. There is a lot of RNG with the job, but I find the job a lot of fun, and it will never ever have high personal damage. You are about buffering your party members. Do not forget this. Do not go into Dancer thinking I'm going to have huge numbers and so forth. You may see the odd technical finish go off to really high numbers. I've crit direct hit for 117k on it, but that is outside the norm. So do not expect that all the time. I will thank you all for coming, and I'll give you a nice bow and a lally ho. Thank you.